All right, welcome back. This is episode 9, and we have a special episode this week. I have a guest on the podcast. I'm really excited for her to be on, and it's also just a really good week. Thank God, dude. Derek Chauvin's been guilty on all counts. I'm so excited about that. Hopefully, this will be the start to helping some change happen down the road. I know it's a lot said right there, but hopefully this can start to kind of pave the way for that. So thank God, dude. It was a crazy, crazy week. But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to bring up before we bring this week's guest on, is a lot of people have been asking me kind of what this platform is built for and what it's about. So I figured I'd tell you that right now. Basically, I have like a whole bunch of friends that do a bunch of cool stuff, ranging from like whether they're like a video person, whether they're like a painter, whether they're graphic designer, whether they're like a YouTuber, even if it's not like something that's art related. I just have friends that do all sorts of crazy cool stuff, and figured I'd use this platform to kind of, I guess, like showcase those people and let them have the opportunity and be able to share their voice and talk about what they do. Because I think I think it's cool that, I have friends that do all this stuff, and I think everyone deserves kind of like the platform to talk about it. So that's what this is for. I'm not going to spoil what this week's guest does, but let's bring her on to the podcast. All right. Well, yeah, first off, thanks for coming on my podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So stoked. I made this like, I don't know how many weeks ago. We're 9 podcasts deep now.
Mm-hmm.
So I made this platform, I said this earlier, just to kind of bring all these creative people that I know and have met on the internet and everywhere, just to kind of like have them talk about what they do, because I think it's really cool to have people have that opportunity to talk about it. So
yeah, that's super cool.
So, holy cow, how I know you, should probably go over that. So I think I was listening to Very, Really Good, and I was actually listening to it in my car when I first found out. He's like, yeah, this girl Serena Palmer made a video of Very, Really Good, and you kind of did your impersonation of it.
Yeah.
And I immediately, I came home, and, that was the first thing I did. I went and, watched your video, because I was like, oh, I got to see this. This is going to be good. And I was right. It was awesome.
Thanks.
So that was where I found out about you. And then I, commented on your stuff, and I was like, and then, I don't know, maybe this is just me. But I personally, whenever I hear, a creator, I always go to their Instagrams first. Because I always want to see what they do, what they're up to. And so I started seeing your Instagram posts and stuff, and you've been on a roll on that too. I've seen people comment and all that. So I guess kind of to let you talk about it a little bit, let's talk about the Kurtis thing, and let's talk about your YouTube.
Okay.
So I guess, how did you all get started with it first?
Yeah. I don't know, just last year, during when quarantine started, I moved in with my parents and didn't have a lot going on. I didn't really want to go out at all. So I was strictly quarantined for a long time. And I just kind of started getting even more into YouTube and into podcasts and really, I don't know, just listening to Very, Really Good every single week, watching Jarvis every week, so I guess that's kind of how it started, is I just watched them so much that I picked up on all their little quirks and mannerisms and was and then when I came to make my first video was the Office Ladies parody, and it was kind of this niche that I didn't see anyone else do, podcast parodies. I searched on YouTube for it and couldn't really find any, so I was that would be funny. It'd be something I would want to watch. So
Yeah.
it took a long time for me to like build up the confidence to like post stuff, but once I did, it's just been really fun. And so I just do like what I enjoy watching, basically. A little bit of like, I'm into like the YouTube drama world too, so I'll do a few of those, but it's mostly just like parodying what I already like and am already like drawn to. So yeah, I don't know. The Kurtis one was so fun to film. Like, I didn't really script it out. I just had like a few bullet points. I was like, use sound effects at funny moments, and then like give like really silly bad advice, and but be like really empathetic at the same time, because that's like kind of how he is.
Yeah.
At the advice segment. So I just like put my camera on and like did like for like 20 minutes was just like talking to myself like that, like trying to like do his voice, and it was really fun. And then I uploaded it, and it really like didn't get many views at all, but I was like so proud of it. I was like, this is funny. Like, I don't care that it only has like 20 views. Like, this is funny.
That's it at first? Only 20 views?
Yeah, I think like even like a few weeks in, it only had like 200 views.
Oh my god.
But he ended up seeing it on Reddit, and he like commented on Reddit. And Reddit has been like, I don't know, where I'm like posting everything, and it's fun because there's like niche. All of my videos are like niche jokes that I think the people like in that niche really appreciate. Like, people who watch Kurtis would appreciate it, whereas people who haven't watched Kurtis would be like, what is this? I don't get it. So yeah, he commented on Reddit and was like, and he never comments on anything, so I was just like so excited about that. And then I was like, there's a chance he might bring it up on the podcast, but I really didn't think he would. And so like obviously when he did, I was like super stoked and have watched it like a billion times.
Oh, that's so sick. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that happened for you, first off. That's so cool. I think
thanks.
that like brought like a lot of views to that video, obviously. And that's one thing that I think is like so hard. Like, I watched your channel go from like I think a couple hundred subscribers up to like now you're at how many subscribers you at? Like 2,000?
About 2,400 ish, because it was 2,420 yesterday, so it was perfect.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I find so interesting about YouTube is like I have a channel and I've done stuff like that before where you like put the title of something in it and that like YouTube starts showing it to other people. But like sometimes it just doesn't. Like, you can do that and it just won't do it, and it's so weird because you're like, what's going on? Like, it'll sit there, nothing happens.
Yeah, and it's strange. I'm still like figuring it out. Like, recently this other podcast parody of like Claudia Slutsky and Phineas's podcast. I don't know if you listen to them, but that one sat there, like you said, for a long time, and then like the past like week has got like more views than the Kurtis one now, which is really random. I don't even know why. Like, I don't think anyone shouted it out or anything. So yeah, it's really random. It seems like things just get picked up at certain times. But that's what's kind of cool, I guess, is like, as long as I like it and I think it's funny, then I'm glad like it's on my channel and I'm building this little like collection of videos, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool, and I think I really like what you're up to with the whole podcast parody and like these parodies and the drama parodies. It's all like so like relevant, and it's all you have like you're good with, like you said, the mannerisms and like how people react and all that. And I think you do you like are you like a comedian by chance? I mean, I'm like dying laughing at your stuff.
I mean, that's kind of like what I aspire to be, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily say I'm a YouTuber yet, because it still feels weird. Like, I don't know. I guess I would call myself a comedian. But it's also new. Like, I just started this like in January. So, but yeah, I think I would call myself that for sure. I'd like to try like stand up one day. I have never done that or anything.
You should.
yeah, but I'd like to.
Yeah, you definitely, you nail it too. You said you only write like bullet points for these videos, right? Or are you scripting some of them now?
Some of them are like fully scripted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of times I just kind of have a note in my phone that like over time, like for the office ladies, every single week I would just write down, like it was very much like building for a long time where I was like, okay, like every week I would be like, oh, they say this a lot. That's funny. Or like, oh, this, like while I was listening. So by the time I made it, I had like this really long note of like a ton of different ideas. So that's kind of what I would just record them and then piece them together. But yeah, some of them I do like an actual script.
I was thinking about this last night. So I was thinking like, man, Serena really has to do like a ton of listening to get these right. Because like you really can't just listen to like 1 or 2, 3 or 4 episodes. You really got to be deep in it and be listening to like 10, 15, 20 episodes to like really nail this stuff.
Well, that's also like, because when I first posted the Office Ladies one on Reddit, it was mostly like a nice reaction, but there was like a few people who were like, and this is why I hate this podcast, or like, see, and this is just so accurate. This is why I stopped listening. And I was like, what? Like, I thought it was so obvious that I was such a hardcore fan that why would I even know these references? You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm definitely not like hating on any of these things. Like, I know all these niche jokes. Why would I listen to it that much? Like, oops. Yeah.
That's so funny though. That's another thing I should ask you about. So that's one thing that comes with like getting views is like dealing with comments and like people's reactions and stuff, because like I've seen it before. People get reactions like all over the place. It's either they love it or they hate it, and then there's like a couple sprinkled in that's in between. But like yeah, what have you had any like weird, like super weird comments, or any like you're just like, oh, this person, like?
Honestly, it's been like overwhelmingly good so far. Like I think part of the reason is, like you said, when Kurtis shouted me out and then like Jarvis shouted me out, they have like such amazing fan bases. Like,
yeah, they do.
They're super cool people. They're not like into drama. They're not like problematic, causing things to happen. They're really genuine, I think, and like have similar values as me. So like all their fans who came over to my stuff are like that. So they're like really chill. So I feel really lucky that I kind of like stole some of their fans, you know, like
yeah.
That worked out really nice because I really haven't had like a lot of hate from anyone. The only like weird comments, like I said, were probably like if people don't like the podcast already and then they're watching my video, then they're like, oh, yeah, I hate this podcast. And, you know, sometimes I just delete those because I'm like, that's not the point. And I read every comment still, like, but yeah, those are the only ones because I somehow, like, sometimes don't know how to respond because I'm just like, I love the podcast, LOL, bye. You know, when they're like, I don't know. And then we had a few, like, sexist men with the Office Ladies because I think a lot of, like, hardcore Office fans don't like the Office Ladies for whatever reason because it's not exactly catered to, like, hardcore fan type of thing. It's, like, it's more fun and, like, they're just doing their own thing. So, yeah, I had a few, like, people on Reddit just being like, oh, their voices are so annoying. And also I would just delete those because they're irrelevant. So, but yeah, I'm really stoked that they've been like very positive so far, and it's super fun to like go talk to people.
It's so cool that you've been shouted out by all these people so far, and then like also it's just cool that you've like built your audience kind of like you said around their audience, because I too been like watching Kurtis for like a long time now. And I joined his Twitch streams. I joined like his I joined his Discord recently.
Me too.
Oh, sweet. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I've gone so into him and everything he's doing. I'm pretty much watching like all of it. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
I've noticed that's one thing I like connect with this fan base super well, and I've even like taken as far as like just texting friends his videos being like, yo, look at this, like, and I've had friends that are like, yo, I've actually been watching him too. And
Nice.
I'm like, oh my God, that like now I see why we connect. Or like,
Yeah.
people like, there's something to it, right? About people that are like fans of him that like, it just feels good. They have like the same energy, and it's like,
Totally.
it's a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And like humor is so just awesome to connect with people over. So yeah, that's been really fun for me too.
So one thing that I thought was really cool, I saw the Office ladies also shout, or they shouted you out, I think, right? And then they like commented on your video.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's right here.
Wait. Oh my God. Yes.
So
That's
this
so
was
cool.
this was the first shout out I ever got. It was from Angela's Instagram story. So I framed it.
Oh my God,
And
I would
then
frame that too.
They both commented, yeah, super awesome. Because I have been, an Office fan. Understatement of the year.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Holy
Since,
cow.
for a long time. So, yeah, that was really special.
That's such a
I'm also
rewarding
drinking-
feeling.
Oh my God, I'm such a nerd. I have all my merch out.
I think I was wearing my very, really good sweater on like the last episode I did, or an episode before.
I almost wore mine. I had to buy merch after that because I was like, he shouted me out. I have to get merch. So I have a very, really good sweatshirt now.
Yes.
But I went with the blue sweater today.
Hell yeah. Holy cow. Yeah, so you've had like a lot of success with this YouTube thing. Are you like trying to eventually become like a full-time YouTuber? Is that kind of the end goal there, or?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, my goal was to upload once a week for 2021, and then just like at the end of the year, like evaluate, see if I liked it, see if I wanted, see if it could even be a career, because, it's hard to dedicate that much time when you're not making any money from it. But,
Are you monetized now?
Well, yeah. So what I was going to say is this morning I literally just applied because I hadn't reached 4,000 hours until this morning. So I'm really excited about that. It's way sooner than I thought. Like my goal was to be monetized by the end of the year. So
God.
It's going really well. I would love to. So far it's been really fun and like fulfilling and just happy, So, but yeah, I'm also working like a retail job just to pay bills. So, yeah.
That's one thing I was going to ask you is how is that going as far as like when you tell people that about like YouTube and that what you're trying to do? Because I know like it's definitely more popular these days to be like a full-time YouTuber, I guess. I know back in the day when I was like telling people that I had friends that were that, they'd be like, "Oh, they're losers," or like it had that sort of like reputation to it. But I think it's becoming more common now. So what is it like? I guess like do you tell your friends that you're trying to become like a YouTuber, and are they like pumped, or what are people saying?
I don't talk to anyone, so I don't have that problem. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Well, it's really funny, right? Because I don't know if I would have been doing all of this if it weren't for quarantine. Because it is kind of like I have been really not talking to a lot of people. And it's been a way for me to like connect online with other people. But no, yeah, my mom watches all my videos and
so
she's like
cool.
super,
I love that.
yeah, she's super supportive. And I feel like she never like even gets the jokes. Like she watches them and she's like, "Good job, honey." And I'm like, "Do you even like know what I'm like? Do you know who James Charles is?" And she's like, "Oh, I went and like looked him up after that." And yeah, so I think people are just nice. Like they're happy if I'm happy. But
That's
it is
good.
like I live in Montana. I don't know if you knew that, but so it is very like not the norm. Like I don't really know anyone else in my circle who's like doing the same thing. So that's why it's been cool to like talk to people like you who are, and you're really successful in your field, just so we talk about you a little bit too. But so it means a lot that you're complimenting like my videos, because your videography is just awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. It's I love that like YouTube's becoming like more of a common and like a good platform. I honestly think it's like one of the coolest jobs out there, and I think it's like something people can be very successful at, and I totally see you heading down that road. So I'm like so excited to see where your channel goes.
That's so sweet.
It's just so cool. I don't know if I've told you this or not, but I went to high school with Danny Gonzalez.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know him?
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
We used to film this like weekly video. We used to film this weekly video for our high school, and he would be in some of them, and so I knew him like through that, and like I think we weren't like the type of friend like see each other like every single day, hang out type of friend, but it was like we saw each other in passing. We know who we are, and like. I've messaged him a few times like this year, and he definitely knows who I am, situation. But I remember people back then were even like just so pumped to see Danny in these videos. And so that was, I forget where I was going with that, but that was originally how I found out about Kurtis. So had I not known Danny, I would have not known about Kurtis, and I probably wouldn't have found out about like your channel, because I would have been never subscribed to Kurtis.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
It's so crazy. I never like, oh, that's where I was going with this. So basically, I watched Danny go from like, I think I saw him at like 700,000 subscribers all the way up to like 5 million subscribers. And that I was like, dude, like, I mean, you've seen his stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just seeing that, like, I'm like, dude, this proves like that proves that like YouTube is a very like feasible job, and a very like, very like, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's a very feasible thing.
Yeah, I definitely had to work up to that thought process, because I was very like, just not that my family wasn't supportive of anything, like they really were like, do whatever you like, but it's just I was only around people with like traditional jobs. You know, like a nurse or a teacher or a counselor, like, which is what I wanted to be for a long time. But yeah, the more that I'm just kind of like dipping my toes in and realizing there are a lot of like alternative kind of careers that aren't even alternative now. Like they're very like normalized to a lot of people. But yeah, it was definitely like kind of an internal process to like feel like I could actually be someone who does it. And people like Jarvis like really inspired me, because I got into like his whole start, and he was like a software engineer, and then just kind of like figured out the niche of YouTube that he wanted to do. But yeah, that's
so cool. That's another thing I wanted to ask you about. So I've noticed you've been incorporating music into your videos lately, which you're writing these songs and you're like playing them, right? And you're recording and all that.
Yep.
Oh my God. How long have you been playing guitar, like making music? That's like a whole nother layer. Holy cow.
Yeah. No, yeah. I've always loved music. I taught myself guitar when I was like 10 or so. And I guess kind of always dabbled in like songwriting and singing, and I did lots of like music lessons, and I did orchestra like all throughout my high school.
Oh my God.
Career, I guess, high school career. I went to band camp, the whole shebang.
Oh my God.
But it wasn't really band camp, it was orchestra camp, because I played the violin. But yeah, and that's another thing about YouTube that's been really fun is like, I have all these like side passions and hobbies, and I can kind of like mesh them all. Like writing funny songs is like my favorite because I love to sing. I don't feel like I'm writing like very deep like real songs, but when I can write like a funny song, it's like super fun, and it's not taking itself too seriously.
That's really cool. That's really cool to hear. Do you think you're going to be incorporating the violin into your videos?
No, I don't really play it anymore. Yeah, not since high school. I haven't really played it. I do miss being part of an orchestra, because that was really fun, but yeah, I don't even have it here. It's like at my parents' house.
So I just like recently, was it yesterday or the day before, I saw your Pfizer tail video?
Oh yeah.
That was so funny. I love that video.
Thanks. Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah,
well,
how did you?
That's like it's not a secret anymore, but I'm a huge Swiftie, and yeah, so those are really easy for me. Like all the time, I'm just walking around the house singing like some bullshit like. Sorry, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're past the what, 30 seconds?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, well, and that's kind of the thing is like how I was saying earlier that the podcasts I parody are all podcasts that I'm like super obsessed with. Taylor Swift songs, I know them like inside and out, so it's really easy to be like, hey, this is a funny like the tweak or something. And that was honestly so silly. Like I got my second shot on the day that Fearless came out. So I was like, haha, what could I do that's like about this? And I did it. So
it's so cool. That's so cool. Is it how long do these videos like, or I guess how long did that one in particular take you to make? Was that like a
so the first thing I did was like record the song in GarageBand. I guess the first thing I did actually was write the lyrics, but that was kind of like just for fun. I wrote those down, and then I spent way too much time on the GarageBand song. I spent like 2 full days on it.
That's so sick though.
Just for no reason. It's really fun though. Like that's the thing, is just it doesn't feel like hard work. It's just kind of like messing around. And yeah, so
just
like,
messing. You're just messing.
Just messing around. I'm just playing, you know. Yeah. So I spent like 2 days making this song, and then I just don't know why, but I was like, okay, my vision is that I like have like this flowy dress and curled hair, and I'm out in a field. And I don't know where these ideas come from, but that's like how it had to be. So I bought a new dress just for that. I don't think I'll ever wear it again. Just kidding. I probably will. Yeah. And then my partner filmed me. He's really nice and just films a lot of stuff for me.
That's so cool and so supportive.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
that.
Awesome. And then I don't feel bad about like being kind of bossy, because I'm like, okay, this is how I want it. And I feel like, yeah. Yeah. And so we filmed all that in like a day. And then what else was really fun was I was just like, hey, why don't people who are vaccinated send me selfies? And so I had people who were vaccinated like send me selfies, and that was really cute. And those were like in the video. But yeah, it's funny because once I have everything filmed, the editing is like, oh, I just love it. I want to get it done. I'm so excited.
It's so cool.
You know? So it's pretty fast, honestly, when I think of an idea and then make it. Because if I take too long in between, I think I just get tired like of it. Like, it's not going to be funny anymore.
Yeah.
So I just try to like do it right away. And like when I start working next week, it'll probably be a little bit different because I'll have a job where I have to go. But yeah, it's pretty fast. I guess like a few days, I would say.
So that just brought me to 2 other things I was thinking of. So The first thing is some of these videos that you do are very time sensitive. Like, so for instance, like the James Charles thing is very time sensitive. Like, I feel like you had to put that video out within like a day or two, or in the same day at least, for that one to work. Does that like put you under a lot of pressure with that? And like, do you feel differently making the video with that kind of pressure? Because I know I've done that before, and I've felt so much pressure. Like when I'm like, oh shoot, like I don't know if this is gonna come off right, and I feel the pressure from it. So how's that go for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. With like the David Dobrik one, I mean, both of those, the David Dobrik apology and the James Charles apology, they're very stupid. And I just sat in front of the camera and like I didn't write anything down. I was just like, haha, these videos are dumb. Like, let's make one making fun of them. So that's pretty much it's not pressure, because I know that I'm still just doing this because I want to, you know? So I try to only do things that I am excited about, and that I don't know, I guess that I'm inspired by. So, but yeah, I do kind of try to get them, like I said, edited right away when I'm done filming. Just so they can be like out when they're relevant, and then from then on, like, who cares? Maybe they'll be relevant again one day, but yeah. Like the David Dobrik one I made all in one day, just like spur of the moment, because after I watched it, I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? So I just
Me too. That was such a weird video.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
I didn't even know what that channel was. YouTube recommended that channel to me, and then I was like, I saw David Dobrik's face, and I was like, is this a podcast channel? Like, I don't know what this is. And then I watched that video, and I was like, this is the worst video I've ever seen. It sucks.
Make it stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that he posted it on his podcast channel. That's so weird.
And then there was the second one on his main one. That YouTube's been like, there's been so much stuff on YouTube lately.
I know.
Do you know who Haley Pham and Ryan Trahan are?
I don't.
So I know of Ryan through Danny, because they made a video way back when. But they're like a YouTube couple now. But I knew Ryan before I knew of Ryan before him and Haley were even a thing. But meanwhile, while the David Dobrik, both of them have like a couple million subscribers. So it's kind of a big deal. But while the David Dobrik thing was going on, while the James Charles thing was going on, and I think there was another one in there somewhere between it, they had their own thing go on where, like, basically they had a wedding in the middle of a pandemic, but they weren't telling, like, people knew the wedding was going to happen because they found out through, like, Wedding Wire and all those sites, and their fans were so mad, so mad for, like, 4 months. People were, like, hating on them. People were unsubscribing. I think Haley lost, like, 50,000 follows on Instagram. Like, wow. It was like a pretty heavy thing. And so I was like keeping up with that drama while this was the David Dobrik thing's going on. Now I'm watching H3 and I'm keeping up with all this James Charles stuff and him getting demonetized. Nelk. That was the other drama. Nelk, do you watch D'Angelo Wallace?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, he made that whole Influencer 19 video.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about the Nelk drama in there, and I was like, dude, like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Nelk?
Nelk. The Nelk boys.
I mean, I watched that video, but I didn't know all the people in it. Were they just one of the bad people?
They're just like, they're like anti-maskers, just basically like ignoring the pandemic, and YouTube had to demonetize them, so that was a whole ordeal. I'm just like, man, why am I so invested?
There's no shortage of drama. No, that's funny though, because my partner the other night was like, I used to think you were too invested in the YouTube drama, but now it's like that's like what your videos are, and it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yeah, exactly. It's like when you have this like niche interest that nobody else really cares about. Now I can post these and like people who are on YouTube who care about it, like watch my stuff and comment, and I'm like, yay, I have someone to talk to about this.
Yeah.
Because I'm very invested in the drama, and like it's definitely like a weird like niche interest. Like the YouTube community is like its own little world.
It is. And you're right, it's a very like niche thing. Whenever I talk, there's only like a select amount of people that I know in person that know about this drama. Like it's mainly on the internet. Same. And it's weird. When I try to bring it up, people like give me funny looks. Like in person, they're like, James Charles, who, what? And I'm just the guy has like, how many subscribers does he have? Like,
he has like 20 million.
Yeah, like 20 million. I'm like, how do you not know about him? Like,
right, but that's the thing is there are so many people online with like 1 million or more subs who like I've never heard of either. Like I'll stumble upon their channel and be like, who is this person? And that's why like when I started, people would be like, I mean, not a lot of people, but like I heard like, oh, the market is so oversaturated. Like there's a lot of people trying to be YouTubers. But there's like plenty of people out there who enjoy watching stuff. So I don't think it's like a thing where people can't be fans of multiple people. Like multiple people can reach 1 million or whatever their goal is. But yeah,
I think people people appreciate. That's another reason why I appreciate your videos too, because I think people enjoy other people's takes on stuff and other people's like views on stuff and their like what they have to offer on top of other stuff. And I think that was what I found really cool. Like you were saying earlier in this podcast, just how you do the parodies. And like you said, I've never seen that before. So I'm like, that's an instant subscribe for me, like for sure.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
You know what video of yours cracked me up now that I'm thinking about? This one,
Keep the compliments coming. This is great. I love doing podcasts. I'm going to do more.
You should. Maybe you'll be on Very Really Good one day.
Stop. I literally can't think about that. That would be crazy.
You had that one video, here, wait, I think I have it up right here. It was the getting noticed by your faves video.
Yeah.
That video is so funny.
Thanks. You liked it?
Yeah. How did you... Wait, take me through that one a little bit. How did that... Okay. I feel like I'm having you dissect all your videos.
I love talking about myself, so...
Sick.
Actually, one of my viewers, who's really cool, Elias, gave me that idea. So, yeah, that's how it happened. He was like, what if... I don't know. We were just messaging and, like, being silly, like, jokes back and forth. And I was like, you know, I'm just constantly, like, dying because these people have noticed me. Like, it's happened so much. I don't know. It's crazy. But, yeah, he was like, it's like an antidepressant commercial. Like, but instead of the antidepressant, it's like getting noticed by your faves. Because I was like, it's a boost of serotonin. I don't know. But that's how it came about. And I was like, that's so... funny. And then I just thought of all these quirky little like things to include, like someone fainting, and I don't know. I don't know where these come from, but I love it because it's kind of like a little time capsule to remember like all these people noticed me in these few months and like how I felt, because it was like mind blowing. So yeah, it's a fun one for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. I just like it's just so funny. Like I noticed that they noticed you, and then you made that video, and it was just like the cherry.
And then one of the YouTubers who I really love, Nicole Raffi, she does like kind of like it's not commentary content. It's more kind of like just her life, I guess. But she watched that clip that she was already in, and it was just like this whole meta thing where I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like the people I love are watching my videos.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm so glad.
It's crazy. I don't know.
That's so when that's how I feel like that's how you know you're doing something right? When these people are like taking notice of your videos, and you're obviously making really good stuff too, because I'm sure people like see stuff about them all day, but they don't actually point it out unless it's like good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And these are the people who like I look up to, and I like their content brings me so much joy. So it's like, it's really a crazy, awesome feeling to think that like some of my content is bringing them the same like entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. And that's holy cow. I'm going really far back here. But how long did it take you to like build up the confidence to like get to make videos? Because I know that actually took me like, I think it took me personally like 4 or 5 months. It took me such a long time. I like tried to record videos before for like my channel, and I would like watch it back and I'd be like, absolutely not. The internet cannot see this. Like, no. And then like I would make another one and be like, all right, got it. All right, let's do this. And then like I'd make another video and then I'd be like, oh, not again. Like, the internet can't see this. Like, nobody see me, please.
Yeah, and that's totally like the thing though, is I think every YouTuber who you watch now has had those really cringy videos at the start and stuff. But I was gonna say like probably a year that it took me to like finally do it, because I grew up watching Jenna Marbles every week since I was like 12. So
Isn't she's like not on YouTube anymore, right?
Yeah, she went off. So, I mean, I always like knew in the back of my mind like, hey, this person's really cool. I love her. She's so funny. She's so confident. But I like, yeah, it was this weird mix of like quarantine caused it to happen, because I just had a lot of time to like realize that these people were entertaining us in such a hard time, and like they really bring a lot of value to the world. And before it was like I liked them, but I didn't see it as like a real career that would be possible for me. So yeah, it was like, that's one thing that I guess quarantine caused me to be really grateful for, like entertainers and stuff. But
same.
I spent a lot of time just like researching and watching all of the YouTubers I look up to make videos about like how to become a YouTuber. I'm sure you've seen some
I saw
of them.
those. Yep, I saw them.
So like Gus Johnson did a really great one, and I got a lot from that one. He was like post on Reddit, and like that was a really good piece of advice, because I never even used Reddit before that. But Kurtis has answered some questions like that, like just
on the advice segment.
Yeah, like one of his that helped me was just try to make things that you think are funny. So that helped me a lot. I was like, yeah, that made sense. And then, yeah, I think it took a lot. But now that I'm like in the groove, it feels really easy. Like I don't really overthink too much.
Same.
I'm just kind of like, if I like the idea, I'll do it, and nobody really cares, like. I think before I started, I was so like in turmoil about like, everyone's gonna see this, and like, what is it gonna affect my life? And I don't know, it doesn't really, like, it's kind of just a fun thing to do. But yeah, sorry, that was kind of rambly, but
no, that was great. I love that information. And it just feels very natural to you at this point.
It does, yeah. But like I said, it was hard to get there. And like last summer, I was like very depressed, like right away in quarantine for like a long time. And so it was like, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, quarantine. It was just like realizing like no one really cares. Like life is so short. Like I want to be doing something I like to do. So I think it just helped me like put things into perspective, which is obviously a very privileged thing to say, because quarantine was awful for a lot of people.
Yeah, so bad.
But yeah, that's just, I guess, one of the like good things that came out of it for me.
I feel like a lot of my friends that I've talked to, and this doesn't apply to everybody like you're saying, but like a lot of my friends have had that like one thing, that good thing that came out of quarantine. And I feel very thankful for the whole like making this podcast channel and making more videos on my channel and having the ability to like, I don't know, talk in front of a camera finally. Because it took a while. And I think hearing stuff like that on, you know, you've heard people ask, like you said, I'm really good. Hearing that stuff helped me too. And watching I saw like a video. Do you know who Kelly Stamps is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch her videos. She put out a video on like how to get like these
so
subscribers.
Crazy. We have the same subscription feed. We literally do.
I think so. That's crazy. She's like, I've been watching her videos since, but she had this one. It was like how to get like, I don't know, a certain like 1 million subscribers, or how to get. Do you know what video I'm talking? Or how to get? It was like a how to get views.
She's made a few. Like there was one like how to grow your channel from zero. Yeah.
Though her videos helped me out so much.
They were really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this is all like great information. And I saw this other girl, Catherine Manning. She makes all these like how to YouTube videos. There's this other girl, Annie, makes these like YouTube videos.
Yeah, I've seen hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's there's so much out there for like how to learn how, and I did a lot of that, and then ultimately I was like, okay, I just have to like make a video now.
Yeah.
And that was really hard, but like after that it's kind of like you get the ball rolling. And then I did Vlogmas too. Like I was like, that was the first thing I did after like the Office Ladies video was like the first video I made, but then for some reason I was like, let's do Vlogmas, and I was really like hyped about it, and that really helped me like kind of build confidence talking to the camera and like not overthinking things, because you only have a day to like post, and then you start on the next day. And I only did like I did like 2 weeks or something, but it was like it was really good. Yeah, I was gonna say another piece of it was that I graduated college last year. So
oh wow, congrats.
I think thank you. Yeah, I think just like finally, I don't know, thinking about my career and thinking about like what do I want to do, and having free time for the first time, you know, not being in school. Also, it kind of just all like connected to allow me to be able to like start my channel. But yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. And this is, I think, I don't know if we already talked about this or not, but I love the like how well you just like nail the cadences of people on it. Like
Thanks.
I feel like I could watch like all of it like so many times in a row. Like I've definitely watched like the Office ones like on repeat before I've watched the Kurtis one on like repeat. They're just the way you do it is so, because I just got into the Office Ladies podcast like nice. How long ago? It must have been like 5 months ago now or something like that.
Okay.
And you made you made the video. I was like, oh my god, you've got like the voices, the way that they like interact with each other, and like the
They're
tone.
so fun. Yeah.
That's so. I don't know how you do that so well. Like I like even like the Kurtis one makes me laugh so hard. Like
that's so nice.
How do you get that stuff? Like, is it? I guess it just comes natural to you.
I don't know, man. I think it's just like my extreme. I don't want to use the word obsession. That's not the right word, but just I don't know. These podcasts, they're like a part of my routine, like every week, you know. So it's really not. I don't know. I don't really consider myself like an actor, but I think I just like really like these people, and I don't know, pick up on the things. The Office Ladies I've been listening to like since it came out. Since the day it came out, because I really love The Office. So
yeah.
Like, yes, content, give it to me.
I think in the very really good one, the one that always cracks me up is like the one where you're like, I don't care, okay? Like it's like the way that you say it, and it's so good, and I just love it all. I'm so excited. I'm just
Yeah,
excited.
they're so fun, and it's like, I love that one because people have commented so many things of like even things that I forgot to include. Like I think I could make a part 2 at this point because
You
there's so many
should.
people.
You should.
I could maybe.
The 40 something. What are we at? Are we at 40 something?
Yeah. What are we at? 40 something. Yeah. And then like where his camera dies, I didn't include that part either. His camera always dies. Yeah, at the beginning. But that's the thing. I feel like it's just things I notice things. I'm very observant. I don't know.
You are.
Maybe
you
that's
are. That's
it.
a good. That is it. Yeah.
And I did study like creative writing and literature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what my degree is in. So, I
Oh.
mean, maybe that helped me with being like very analytical and picking up on little things, but
That would make
I
a lot of
think
sense.
it just comes down to like the fact that I'm like a stan and like I am obsessing over these people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so cool. Holy cow. Wow, we covered a lot of ground already.
Yeah, we have.
Wow, is there anything else that you wanted to like bring up, or any like thing you wanted to shout out, or anything you wanted to bring up?
I don't know. I want to, like, if we have time, I'd like to ask you some stuff because
Yeah. Throw
I've
questions at me. I'd love
talked
to.
about me so much. So
Go for
you
it.
started your own videography business, is that right? Or do
Yeah.
you work for somebody? Okay, that's so cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's been like, it's a weird, kind of a weird thing because I started filming skating. I don't know how long, like 10 years ago now, maybe longer than that, maybe
wow.
12 years ago. And
Yeah.
then like back then when you had a camera, like you were another person at that point. Like if you had like a DSLR, it was like, oh my God, what? You have a camera? Whereas
Yeah.
like now everybody has them.
That's
So
funny.
it's kind of funny, like, because when I had it, like I remember back then people were like, oh, can I have like my like cousins this and that or whatever. Will you just come, like, even if you just grab a couple shots of it, can you come shoot it? And like I was doing stuff like that. And then I was like going to school. I was in like high school, and so like I said earlier, I was on like the video team. So we would make like weekly videos, and there's actually a video. We have this channel that I made this video in high school, and it's at 917,000 views right now. And
What?
yeah, and I'm not proud of it at all. Like
Oh,
not in
no.
those. It's just called like promposals, but I'm
Yeah.
not proud of the video at all. Like I overanalyzed it the other day. I was like, dude, I hate this video so much.
It's one of those things where you just like in the middle of the night, you're like, why did this pop into my brain? Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, this stinks. But I was making videos like that, and like I think I'd make a video like every other few weeks for the high school. So I was doing that. So I was like skateboarding and that, and then I think it was like going into college, I did more skateboarding again. Then all of a sudden, like cameras were getting more popular at that point. It was like, okay, more people have them. So you really had to be like on your shit, for lack of better examples. Like really, people had to like see you for something at that point.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I like literally had like I was like stuck. I was like, what is my thing, you know? So I started skating more at the skate park, and I ran into one of my friends that he skates, but he was like, hey man, you want to come to this thing called So Far? And he brought me, it was, I mean, you've probably heard of it because of my profile, but you probably, I think they have it out there maybe?
I don't know of it outside of you.
So it's like this, it's like an intimate music setting. People just, instead of the typical like loud concert, everyone with iPads and they're throwing beers, it's more of like a laid back thing. People sit down.
Okay.
And there's like 50 people in a room sitting like shoulder to shoulder. So everything opposite of COVID friendly now.
Yeah.
But so basically people sit and enjoy the like random artists in a random location. And people could be doing spoken word, but someone could also be doing electronic music, but someone could also be an acoustic artist. And it's a very like laid back, chill thing. So my friend was like, hey, you want to come do this with me, and I did it. And I was like, holy cow, I enjoyed this whole like filming music thing. And I really didn't think I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous I was like, I don't think I'll like this. Like, I don't know what it's going to be. And yeah, I enjoyed doing that. And then I was like, so after doing like, I was like his intern for a couple months. And I started picking up on the fact that artists like enjoyed having videos of them. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I remember I went on Google. I did like my research, kind of how you were saying you did your research. Yeah. And I was like, okay, like live music, like videos, like on like Google, like in like my area, or like in Chicago. And all of a sudden I was like, nobody's doing this. This is a good opportunity for me. And I started doing it, and I was right. It turned out to be a good opportunity, and it just kind of took off from there. People were messaging me. People were like saying, hey, I need you to do this. So I did a couple free videos, and those got shared. And then all of a sudden I was like, all right, now I can start charging for this thing.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So you've been in Illinois your whole life? And
so actually that's, I just told someone about this the other day, and it like blew their mind. But so I've lived like all over the place. I was born in Detroit. My family and I lived in China for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom worked for GM China, so we lived there for 3 years. And then I think we lived in like, before China, we lived in Texas. And then we lived in like St. Louis. We lived in, I think, back in Detroit again, Illinois. Now, so I've been in Illinois for 15 years. So when people are like, are you from Illinois? Okay. I'm like, I think I'm from Illinois.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. And you went to college?
In Chicago.
In Chicago. Cool.
I was not sure where to go because, like, I just heard a bunch of my skate friends saying they went there. And I heard good things about it. And I heard they had a good film program. But I didn't actually go for their film program, as weird as that sounds. I started off in their film program. But it, like, you were, like, have you ever had something in your life where you're like doing something and you're just like, this just isn't, it's something in your brain's like, this is not right. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I had that feeling for the film. I was like, something just isn't right. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I like stopped doing it, and I did their photo program, and I felt better about it. And then I read an article like a month later or a few months later that was like top degrees to not take in college. And it was like a very like scholarly thing. And it was like number one photography. And I was like, Yeah,
but look at you now. Like, you're fine.
That's the thing. So I dropped that, and then I did their television program.
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes I just don't, to this day don't even use some of those things that I learned in TV, which is so weird.
So that was your final like degree, was TV?
Yeah. I don't know if you can sort of see it in the shot. I have my right back there. I don't know where that comes up, but my degree's right there.
All I see is a window.
Okay, you can see it on the camera.
But I believe you.
Yeah, it's I have it on my wall, so it's
cool.
It was a fun experience. But you saw my podcast about Columbia, right?
I didn't watch that one.
Oh, that one took off. It has like 800 views or something.
Oh, really? Oh, I'll have to watch that one. I think I only watched your most recent one, and then the one with your friend Colleen.
Oh, cool.
Because I was like interested in TikTok, and that one was really cool. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, TikTok's been a fun experience. I guess that's been a whole thing I started during quarantine too, and somehow I've amassed like 27,000 followers on it.
I saw that. That's so cool.
I didn't expect that. I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
That's awesome though.
It's so...
And you're mostly doing, like, skate videos on there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
It's kind of a hard balance, because, like, people... I mean, like, you were talking about this earlier. You said, like, your niche that you have. And then I have, like, 2 of them, I guess, because, like, I do video stuff. And it's so weird, because I have, like, 2 audiences at once. I have, like, a skate... And it's 2 things I do in my life. I film videos and make videos. And I also have like my skate friends and skate audience like on like TikTok, but then I have like a video audience on Instagram. So it's like a weird dynamic for me because every now and then those 2 things clash, but like more than likely they're separate. And it's such a weird thing because like I'm like almost living two lives at once. It's like,
yeah, it's hard to know sometimes, like, should I start a second channel for this stuff? Should I,
right.
like, and yeah, sometimes it seems confusing, but I say, like, just do whatever your interests are. Like, I feel like it works because you're interested in it, you're not trying to, like, be, I don't know, like, overstepping in one or the other.
Right.
You're just, like, doing both because that's you. But yeah, that could get weird.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's definitely fun. I'm having fun with it, but it like it's kind of because like work is obviously like stressful, like making stuff and like getting stuff done. But it's like I feel like I'm trying to I'm like, all right, I'll get a video done, and then I'll go make this video. But it's like almost like a hard mindset shift sometimes because like people that are so dedicated to skating know the insides and outs of it. Like they know as much as we know about Jarvis and Kurtis and all that. About skating. Yeah, it's like, and to me, I'm like, they'll tell me something, I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know. Like, and so I'm not that invested in it as they are, but I'm more invested in like video stuff. So like people always come to me and like, what camera should I get? What like audio should I get? Tell me about these specs. Tell me about this. And like, I'm like, oh yeah, 0.023 da 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 da, and I'm like giving them like specs to a T.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So I'm trying to find a way that I can like actively balance both of them. And it's definitely hard. So I start new niches on TikTok all the time.
Yeah.
And I start this podcast channel, which is a whole nother thing for me. The skateboarding YouTube channel, which I don't even know what to post on there anymore. People like the videos I make, and then I post a video that's me talking about a video, and everyone's like, really? You're really going to post this? You kidding me? I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That's funny. Well, I think it's cool that you're just trying new things because, you'll never know unless you just try it. So,
right.
Yeah.
And I think
like the podcast, I'm really excited because I think that's one of my goals. Like I've always wanted to have my own podcast. It's one of my favorite mediums. It's so fun. So yeah, it's really cool that you have this channel.
Thank you. Yeah, people, I mean, like, I'm sure you can probably tell by now, but people, like, I'm the type of person that just doesn't ever shut up. I just, like, keep going,
I love it.
And I'm like, all right, if I'm, like, that kind of person, this is, like, the right, the right platform, at least, because I feel like that, it requires that kind of person, like, to do this, or at least maybe not all the time, but like for me it just feels right. And I'm like, you can only internalize stuff for so long before you like have to get it out there, you know what I mean? This is like,
yeah, that's true.
It's like this pent up thing,
and it's fun to like talk to new people. Like I'm just really glad that I put myself out there because I would have never done something like this, like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you should start your own podcasting. It's really fun. I just made like you go on like that RSS site and you make like an RSS feed, and then you can have that as like the Spotify thing. It's a pretty like easygoing process. And then with this, I just edit it all together. I just sync up the audio and video, and I like put it together, and it's a pretty straightforward thing. You just have to like, I don't know what I'm learning. Kurtis is kind of doing it, and so I'm learning through him. Is like you kind of have to set up like little like segments that you post from them, because like how YouTube works is how people watch stuff all the way through. And it's, unless like it's gonna be hard for like, there's like a handful of people that do watch like my channel and watch the podcast all the way through, but there's like obviously like the YouTube people that are first time clickers on it that may not watch it all the way through. And so I think it's important to grab like little, like you've seen those podcast snippets he posts. Yeah, and I think those are helpful on a podcast channel. That's what I'm learning, at least. I mean, that's just me seeing it from the outside. So I think that's my next thing with it. I need to post like snippets, because then it brings more awareness to the full thing. Like H3 does it, and it's proving to me that works.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of my podcasts do the same, where they just do like a 10-minute snippet or something, or like a highlight, but then the full thing is on like Apple Music or Spotify.
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts,
Yeah, and I think that's going to be what's going to be helpful for me. So I don't know, I'm just hoping to see where this goes. And I think the more people I bring onto it, the more, it's one of those things like the more people I bring onto it, the more people that share it to their friends too.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, cool, I like this
Absolutely.
channel, or my friend was on it, so I'm going to like watch her, or I'm going to watch him, or whatever it is. So I just try to bring like, it's just fun. I enjoy like bringing people that do cool stuff. And it's, that's one thing I noticed about YouTube is like, it's not often, I should say, that people talk about behind the scenes of what they do. It's like, I mean, we've seen like Kurtis do it before on Very Really Good, and we've seen Danny do it on his second channel. But like, it's not often that you get this kind of stuff. So that's why I think it's cool to have you on here to talk about what you do behind the scenes and how you make stuff happen.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did. A year ago, I didn't even know that YouTubers like made their own thumbnail in like Photoshop.
Oh yeah.
Like, that blew my mind. I was like, what? It's not just taken from the video? Like, this makes so much sense. And then the more that I researched, I just learned there's this whole like strategy behind it. There's so much work behind it. That's really what made me think like, oh, I could do this. It's not just like these talented, like otherworldly people who just have this like thing that I don't have. It's like, no, they work really hard. They do a lot of shit behind the scenes. It's cool to talk about it too.
Yeah, and the thumbnails are so hard. They're like, you either get it or you don't. I mean, you know when you don't, because it doesn't like get enough. The click-through rate is just like trash, and you're just like, ah.
And it's interesting because you're kind of doing like a few separate jobs, you know, like you're the editor, you're the talent, you're the the writer, and then you're like the thumbnail designer. Like that's a whole nother like skill set. And then all the SEO or whatever. And then the promo is a whole nother.
Oh my god.
Like people have literal jobs that are just like advertising, is that the word?
Yeah.
What's the job? Yeah, marketing.
Marketer.
Yeah. Like entire careers are just marketing for one thing. And it's funny because I never realized that. But yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, you're like wearing all these hats at once.
Yeah, which is cool because I feel like I'm learning all this stuff that I can potentially use even if I go on to do something else than YouTube.
I think one day, if I ever get to the point where I make enough money or I'm like fully monetized on YouTube and can like have that side income, I think I one day want to hire someone that's like maybe a social media person that can like handle it, because that stuff stresses me out a lot, honestly. Especially with like a podcast, or especially with like anything else that I do. It's like, it's so stressful. I mean, like you said, there's Reddit and stuff, you can just place it, but even then, like, it's kind of like, who's gonna see it? And there's people that know how to make people see it and know how to like actively do that. And like you said, it's a whole research, but I think that's one thing, because like wearing all those hats can be so stressful, like doing everything at once. I mean, like, I can't even think of it, right? Because I already, like I said, I do like skate stuff, and then I do work stuff, and then that's a lot already. And then I'm just like, all right, now I have to do this whole other thing. And it's just like,
and social media is like, it's changing constantly. It's like there are all these rules for different platforms, and there are all these sizes and like hashtags or no hashtags. It's like a lot.
I know.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, and so it's just, I don't know. It's fun, though. It's all fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's probably...
That's what I tell myself.
You just keep telling yourself that. Avoid all the stress.
But yeah, I think, well, social media, like, I totally was off of it last year completely. Like, I deleted everything. I didn't even, like, temporarily delete it. It was gone. Deleted.
Whoa.
Yeah, everything. And all I was doing was watching YouTube. So it was weird because I figured out, like, okay, no one's going to see this if it's not on Instagram. So I just made an Instagram and was like, this is going to be my work Instagram. Like, I'm not going to treat it as, like, this time waster and, like, at this, like, sucking into the depressing negative news cycle and all of that. But it's kind of inevitable when you use it, though, because it's like I'm on it, but it's also been like the reason people have seen my stuff. So it's like there are pros and cons, but I try not to be on it that much. But yeah.
It's addicting. It's very addicting. Hey, I'm gonna reset my camera right now. Reset.
Yeah, mine is almost dead. It's flashing the battery. So.
Oh, okay.
It might be time to to wrap it up.
We can wrap her up.
Sorry, I'm not too professional over here. Oh no, you're good. Extra battery.
You're good. Is there? I guess before it dies, is there anything that you want to shout out? Is there I guess give them your socials where they can find you. What you have coming up?
Oh God. Serena Palmer is my YouTube. It's just my name. Nothing crazy.
We'll put a link in the bio.
Link in bio. Serena Palmer _ on Instagram. 2 underscores. Same thing on TikTok, but I'm never on TikTok. I don't know what I have coming up. It will be a surprise. But thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. This was my first podcast ever.
So sick.
I took my podcast virginity. Camera died.
All right, camera died. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, thanks for coming on, and I appreciate it, and looking forward to what you have coming up next.
Thanks.
Subscribe to Serena. Subscribe to Serena.
Thank you so much. This was fun. We should definitely do it again. Maybe when I have a podcast. Just kidding. That for a while, but
I'd be down. I'd be down to be on. Or
we'll just continue to chat via comments and Instagram and things like that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do an Instagram live or something like that.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. I've never done a live either, so that would be a new thing.
There we go. Let's do it.
Just a lot of firsts.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, thanks again for coming on, and stay tuned for episode 9, and I'll hopefully we'll bring you back on the pod at some point.
Oh yeah, I'd love it. Thank you so much. I can't even express how fun this was and how nice you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're so
appreciate
much fun.
It. Means a lot. You are too. So appreciate you, and looking forward to everything else you have to put on the internet.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.